Hello again, this is Michael from the Resurrected Hobbyist, bringing you a unboxing video. This is going to be the first in what I hope will be a series of videos I'll do in the future. This one I'm doing on the Horus Heresy Betrayal at Calth. I need to apologize real quick. I had originally shot this as a true and real first unboxing. This was a completely sealed box. I had not yet opened it. And it was literally the first time I'd had a chance to really look at the contents of it and talk about them. Unfortunately, my camera had an issue and it didn't actually record the footage. So, I'm doing it again this time. So, like I said, it was supposed to be a brand new, unopened box, first time I'd actually had a chance to work with any of these. But, such is life. So, Betrayal at Calth. This is Games Workshop's introduction game connected to the Horus Heresy series from Forge World. I don't actually know if this is meant to be an introductory game or just a game in that universe, and it's actually not transferable rule-wise. But then again, nor am I actually concerned with that, because I got this for the models. But yeah, nice bonus. The artwork on this case is amazing. Like this scene right here, that just takes me right back to when I was a kid and I first got into 40k. Looking at the artwork on the rule books and the box and seeing these force slashes and going, that is what I want to make. Like, I want to make these guys fighting. So, and I just love the way it's set up. You got the cathedral, or the vaulted ceilings, with the skull iconography all over it. You got the one word bearer back here being shot, most likely from this Terminator here. It about lines up. But you know, you got the Contemptor Dreadnought there and the other word bearers there. The Dark Apostle going toe to toe with the Cataphract Terminator Captain. A couple other Terminators here, and the Ultramarines charging into it. Just this very, very even-sided battle. You know, certainly the Ultramarines have the tactical push with the Terminators and the Tactical Marines, or I'm sorry, Legionnaires. This isn't 40k, it's 30k. But the Word Bearers definitely have a bigger, you know, punch with the Contemptor in this image. So it's a very even fight. Just very exciting, very blood boiling. That's what this box cover is meant to do. It's meant to get you excited about what's inside, and I absolutely love this image. It just looks fantastic. Let me, give you a shot of it without the glare on there. So, let's go ahead and open her up and see what we got. Now, as I said, I already looked at these once before when I tried to do the first video. So, but anyway, I'm going to start over on this one. So, you got the Games Workshop bases. You got the 60mm base for the Dreadnought, the 40 mils for the Terminators, and then the 25mm, I'm sorry, not 25mm, 30mm bases for the infantry, or the Legionnaires. They keep saying 25 and those are 30. Sorry guys, that's just what happens when you have someone who's been using 25mm bases for 20 years. So, the Legionnaires. These look like they would be straight up compatible with the current Tactical Marine or even Chaos Space Marine sets, because the torsos have the same rounded waist design. The guns will definitely fit with the Tactical Marine because they've got the hands on the gun just like the current guns. If you wanted to attach these with Chaos Space Marines, it would take a little bit of work, but it's certainly doable. You got the combi weapon here. I do like the fact that it looks like it could be made interchangeable. I'll need to get in there with a caliper and see the exact depth of that. Might be able to magnetize that. Be worth experimenting with. Melt-A-Gun. I do so love the Horus Heresy era Melt-A-Guns. They're just so brutal looking. No grace, no finesse, just eat a microwave beam in the face. So you got, on this sprue, you got 4 legs, power fist. 2, 3, 4, 6 sets of, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 sets of arms, 10 bolters. And then here is the full sprue itself. And I'm sorry, I hate to harp on this, but I just love the sheer craziness of the older Heresy era, Rogue Trader era style missile launcher with the like cobra fanged head and the curved magazine of missiles. I mean, a missile launcher that has a flipping magazine of additional shots that's man portable. For anyone who's military out there and has ever worked with man portable ordnance like this, I'm sorry, I can't help but geek out about it. It's just so crazy. So, the combat blades, I gotta be honest, these combat blades are flipping huge compared to the stuff we normally get in the Tactical Marine sets. Let me give you here, there's the legs, there's the combat blades. Those are downsized swords is what those are. You still got the heavy bolter. Yep, and then there's the drum feed for it. That looks like it would just mesh right up there. I do love the way that the Horus Heresy era heavy weapons look. How do I say this? It's kind of like if you look at a World War II rifle, and then look at, say, an M1A1, or I'm sorry, a M4. You can see how they kind of progressed and got from there to the new one. Like, looking at the Horus Heresy kind of models, especially for like the heavy bolter, and comparing that to, say, a 40K heavy bolter, it's kind of the same thing. Like, these are kind of the World War II of the 40K universe. This is when the technology was really being recreated and mastered and understood. And then 40K, it's just, it's meant to be brutal. It works because that's all it does. So, alright, so moving on. 2 more sprues of Legionnaires. We'll get to the characters in a bit. The Cataphract Terminators. These were what I was really kind of excited for. Thinking about doing another Abaddon conversion in the near future, and the older, more archaic style of the Terminator armor is something I'm thinking about incorporating into that. So actually having these models as references would help with that immensely. Whether or not I actually use the pieces in the conversion, I have no idea yet. So, but yeah, here are the Terminators. I just love this older style Terminator armor with the segmented plates and the back panels and the vents and the hoses and all that on it. It's like a tank and a suit of armor got drunk and wound up making a child, and then that child became a badass. Like, that's the Horus Heresy era power and Terminator armor. No subtlety, no guile, just raw brute force. And it exemplified with the Terminators. These things are huge, they're heavy, they're lumbering. It's literally, I'm going to take a superhuman and then combine him with a tank. That's the Cataphracts. So, but anyway, sorry to gush. You do have the separate torso tabards, which is a nice thing. Okay, so I see how they did the heads. Instead of doing full heads that would sit down in an alcove or a divot spot, they basically did the half heads. They'll just sit on the flat plate there. Gotta be honest, I would have liked that they had like the full heads, but I can't really complain about these. So, because those are really nice looking heads. I like those. Well, they're really nice 2/3 of a head. The grenade harness, the combi bolters, twin link bolters, chain fist, shield. Jesus, those lightning claws look brutal. Yeah, I don't care if these were intended to be Ultramarines. They're going to my Chaos Army. I like the ribbons. I like the way they've got the ribbons sculpted directly into the shoulder, but then you got the shoulder pad that goes over them, so it'll help hide that it's actually one piece in the shoulder. It's nice. Power sword. I gotta admit, the power sword looks dinky. Now, maybe it'll look different once I put the Terminator together. Maybe I'll swap it out. I honestly don't know. Chain fist. I mean, these just look like they're gonna be a lot of fun to do. Okay, right, the other Legionnaire sprue. The characters. You got the Cataphract Terminator equipped Captain, and the Apostle, or Dark Apostle if you go with the Word Bearers. I gotta say, Games Workshop is seriously impressing me with their monopose models. I'm just looking at some of the detail on this, like the inset of the Terminator Captain's head area. Got all kinds of connections and bits back there. It makes it look very involved, very functional. So, and then likewise, you know, like the head on it itself is actually detailed. So you're going to have that coupled with the back of that. Like, I can very easily see the benefit at painting, you know, basically doing this in 3 separate components, because the main body, the front of the armor, and the back of the cloak, it would be much easier to paint all that and then assemble it than to assemble it and then try to paint it. I mean, you certainly could, don't get me wrong. So, there's a Melta pistol, and the Dark Apostle, and the Plasma pistol. I love the way, yeah, the cloak, yeah, there you go. So the cloak is actually, it's sort of 3 separate pieces, because you got the backpack that would go on the back, and then the back would attach to the body, which comes up over the shoulder. So it's, you know, a one-shouldered cloak, which kind of gives it a very regal look to it. I like that. Something I did notice about these is there is very, very, very little Legion-specific iconography on the models. It would be very easy to paint the Dark Apostle as an Ultramarines and the Terminator Captain as a Word Bearer, for instance. Or really any Legion, you know, White Scars, Blood Angels, Raven Guard, whatever you want, really. You know, certainly the head crest of the Dark Apostle, well, honestly, that looks more Ultramarine than Word Bearer, but that's easy. You know, come in here, cut it off, then shave it off, smooth it down. Presto. You know, that's easy. Or if you just want to replace the entire head, cut it off right beneath the head, assemble the model, then drill out a little divot. You can easily put in another head. And then you still got this head for another model. So, but just overall, like, the quality of Games Workshop's monopose models are getting very, very impressive. I said this about the Dark Vengeance set a couple years ago when I got that, and it's taken that and gone a step up. Yeah, these are just gorgeous models. This is the big one that I was looking forward to, the Contemptor. Just the Contemptor Dreadnought is a lot larger than the standard Dreadnought, and I've seen some really interesting poses done with the Forge World model. But then again, the Forge World model is also multi-part legs. So like I've seen from assembly videos and work logs, the Forge World model, the leg is actually like 5 pieces, because you got the foot, the ankle, the shin, the knee, and the thigh, which allows you to put the legs in any number of positions. Obviously, the plastic Contemptor is not that. That being said, if you're feeling adventurous and have, you know, a fair amount of skill in terms of modding, crafting, and cutting, I do think it would be possible to reposition the legs. Now, there is going to be a challenge to this. Any job you do, you have to do twice. For instance, let's say I wanted to raise this leg up in order to have it stepping on something. Well, I've got to make two major alterations. Number one, I've got to rotate the hip back so that it's picking up the leg. And then 2, I've got to rotate the knee so that the foot is coming straight down, which means I've got to cut here, here, across the back of the knee, and then across the front of the knee. Because you've got the front of the leg and the back of the leg, both of which need to be cut in order to accommodate each other. Then, of course, you have to fill in the detail. Because, again, this is intended to be a monopose model. And, again, there's very little detail on it that would actually tie this model to one army over another. Yeah, you've got the scroll work here. That's easily Ultramarine or Word Bearer or just about anyone else. If you wanted to, you could very easily take a knife and file and smooth all that down, rebuild the groove in here, easy enough, and then come in with, you know, jagged pieces of plastic card and make teeth, make it a Word Bearer's Contemporary Dreadnought, perhaps. Or put the Eagle Quill on there and make it Raven Guard. You know, it's certainly doable. You do have the Multi-Melta, it comes in 2 pieces right here. And the Power Fist. Not seeing the bolter. Oh, I see how they did it. Yeah, they got the bolters on the arm, which figured pro. Okay. It's a nice assembly. And then, of course, the Assault Cannon. That is a big Assault Cannon for this model. So, anyway, that's the Contemporary Dreadnought. The 2 characters. The Legionnaires. And then the Cataphract Terminators. Like I said, I definitely got this box set for the models, and I am absolutely thrilled at what I'm seeing model-wise. Let's take a look at the rest of the game contents. You've got your game dice. These are modeled after D6 dice, but instead of having numbers on them, they have different facings. You've got this icon. Let me see if we can get a better image there. There you go. That's your critical hit. You've got 2 of these on the dice. This is your standard hit. You got 1 of these, which is you have 2 of these, which is a guard. I'm assuming it means like they guarded against an attack or deflected it. And then you have a blank. I have not actually read the rules for the game. Like I've said, I was more interested in the models. But, you know, so I can't really tell you what the dice results would equate to outside of that brief thing I saw in the rule book the first time I flipped through it. So, and then we got the Legion tactical cards. Yeah, the Dreadnought's name, if you go with the Word Bearer's name, is Sor Garox, known as the Bull. I feel a bit of a kinship to him right now because I always describe myself as the human excuse for a bulldozer. And then the tactical cards, you know, some of them are for the Word Bearers, but like some of them are for the Ultramarines. Apparently, Sor Garox has his own damage cards. Kind of makes sense given the scale of a Dreadnought in this game. God, that just harkens back to like 2nd edition. Like in 2nd edition, like a Dreadnought would be 20% of your army. It's like, oh, you're running 3 Dreadnoughts? Well, that's a 3,000 point list. That seems to be more the kind of scale that they're looking at with this game, which, believe me, I am all kinds of cool with. Then we got the boards. Yeah, hex design, a little bit like the squares on Space Hulk. That is like really thick card too. You probably like beat someone with that. Alright, so we got the instruction or the construction guide. Yeah, for Stellock Athon, or Athon, excuse me. The Cataphract Terminator Captain, Calth Sid, the Dark Apostle, Tactical Legionaries, the Legion Terminators, and Sor Garox. Yeah, so see, like I said, it'd be if you want to go for a paint effect, especially for Stellock Athon or Athon, it'd be best to paint him in 3 sections because of the way the head interacts with the front and then in the back. And then Calth, Yeah, no real surprise there. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, combi weapon. I neglected to mention that, but it does come with a combi set. You get to pick and choose your weapons. It's nice. Of course, the missile launcher. I'm sorry, I still geek out about that thing. It's just so crazy and yet awesome at the same time. The accessory pieces, and the Terminators. A little bit like the Chaos Berserkers. You gotta assemble the leg. Yeah, heavy flamer. That's got to be brutal in the caverns under Calth. Then you got 2 different weapon options for each of the Terminators, either tactical or close combat with lightning claws. That's kind of nice. Definitely thinking lightning claws in my case, just because they look brutal enough. I just love this pose. Come at me, bro! Yeah, hey guys, I got this. Let's rock. Yeah. Dude, you're mine. It's like, this is one of the things I love about multi-part models. You can diversify them as you're building. Can't quite do that with these, though they did give you some leeway. Looks like you can rotate the arms around different ways, which is nice. Obviously, you know, converters are going to look at that and go, yeah, right, watch me change it. Which is exactly what I'm going to do, so believe me, I'm not saying anything against it. And then the Contemptor Dreadnought, of course. Pretty straightforward assembly. Wait a minute. Okay. Sorry, I thought they had the assault cannon as the opposite arm, and I was like, wait a minute, you can give it an assault cannon and a multi-melta? But no. Although, if you have 2 of these, it does look like you could cut off the arms right above the elbow and magnetize them. So you could swap the armaments back and forth. A guide for the decals. Okay. So that's the construction guide. Ooh, and the decals. What do we have here? Can I pick them up? Okay, so you got the Ultramarines. Pretty standard. A little different from the standard stuff we get in the tactical squads. And then the Legion, or Wordbearer's Legion. Okay, I love these script pieces. The Colchizian runes. I know you can't really see it too well on the camera, but you've got a series of blocks here with white text. It's meant to be demonic script. Colchis, the planet the Wordbearers hail from. Okay, then glyphs. Nice. I'm not usually a fan of decals, but these look intriguing. I may have to actually use those. And then finally, we've got the rulebook. Yeah, there's a cutout of that image that I love so much. Okay, this is a nice harken back to the old style where you had the images on the inside and they were full cover, or the photos on the full side, on the inside cover. I have to be honest, I don't like this image because of the positioning of the 2 key characters. They are literally close enough they can start beating each other with their guns. And it's just, why do you have guns if you're going to run up and beat them? I'm sorry, it just kind of bugs me. Personally, what I would have recommended is they did 1 image for the front inside cover, and then 1 image for the back inside cover, with one of them being from the perspective of the Wordbearers going toward the Ultramarines, and then the other one reversed of that. You know, kind of looking across the battlefield at your enemy. But that's my preference. Anyway. Definitely keeping the same script and layout that they used for the Horus Heresy books. from Forge World, which is nice. Definitely helps carry the games together. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the rules because, like I've said, I bought this for the models. And, you know, the rules don't have a lot to do with the models in my regard. You know, I'm a model builder first, a gamer a very distant second to that. Actually, a third because I prefer painting to gaming. And I do have to admit, they do make the models look very good in the rulebook. And explaining how to use the reference cards, some in-game shots, map setup, map effects. Yep. The weapons. Yeah, special scenarios. Very nice. Yeah, different layouts for the scenarios. Yep, there's my image. I'm sorry, I love that artwork. It is absolutely gorgeous and enticing. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh god, that is amazing. Ooh, there was something I didn't notice before. I got a nice little insert shot back there of Fulgrim versus Ferrus Manus. It's nice. Definitely going to be something to pull you in. And even better is the Forge World models actually resemble that image. Okay, Salak Ethan. The Terminators, yep. Very nice. Still got the red sidebar and the Colchizian runes along the border. And then, of course, you know, oh, by the way, we also have all this other stuff from Forge World. We got, you know, the rule books, the books that actually tie into this, the Honored and the Unburdened, the audio dramas, and other books in the Horus Heresy series. You know, check them out, yada, yada, yada. You know, they're a company. They're definitely entitled to advertise their product. And then, of course, the reference sheet on the back of it. Okay. So that is the unboxing. You know, there are the Cataphract Terminators, the Legionnaires, the characters, and the Contemptor Dreadnought. And the bases. You know, I'm going to be honest and say I'm not going to use these bases. I'm actually going to get bases from Dragonforge Design. I've used his bases several times, and every time they are absolutely astounding. I love the detail he puts into them, and I highly recommend it. There is the link down there at the bottom of the video. I do highly recommend you check out his products. He does an amazing job with the bases, and I cannot speak highly enough of them. But yeah, there's my image again. I just love that thing. It looks amazing. But that is my unboxing of the Battle of Calth. I'm going to be doing some reviews of the individual models as I work on them and my thoughts on them. So stay tuned.